Okay. All right, so now we're going to get into observations versus evaluations. And this one we're also going to do as a group. It's more fun that way, or at least I like doing it this way. And in this group practice, we're going to start with playing with this game, I see, I imagine. And when I describe the observation part, I describe it as if I'm looking through the lens of a camera. And then the I imagine piece is the story that I might make up about what I'm seeing. So let's see if we can model this. So Letitia, you good? If we play a little I see, I imagine game. All right. So Letitia, I see that you're wearing glasses, and I imagine that you're super smart.
And James, I see that you're wearing glasses, and I imagine that you are protecting your eyes from the blue light of the computer.
All right, thank you. I see that you're wearing a top that looks bluish. See that? Yeah, that one wasn't as good because I can't see exactly what the color is, but it seems to match mine. But that's that's a little bit more imagining. I see a plant in a pot, and I imagine that it came from the Sahara Desert.
Okay. I see behind you some black, what looks like black curtains to me. So I imagine that you're hiding out from something or someone.
Oh no, I've been discovered. Thanks, Letitia. All right, let's see if anyone else wants to play. I see James Brown. I like your name, man. Are you a musician? Sorry. I see that your Zoom says James Brown, and I imagine that you're a musician. James, you want to play?
Yeah, I'll play. In fact, I kind of love this idea of how quickly observations become judgments. Like I see, like here's one, if I was being judgmental, I see you're in a bedroom and imagine you live with your parents.
Thank you. I'm not going to answer that question, but truth is, I don't live with my parents. All right, thank you. Let's see. I see Monica. I see your hands up. Which are you looking to play?
Yes, I see James' background, and my God, it's so cluttered. I mean.
Okay, thank you. And you imagine that it's cluttered.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
And it's crazy. Yeah. Thanks for sharing your imaginings. Yeah. And so the word cluttered is an evaluation, and so is crazy. Hey, it's crazy. So that's the story that we're making up about what we're seeing.
Chaotic.
Yes, it's chaotic. Yeah. And so that's the imagination part, the story. All right, thank you. I see a couple more hands. So Dana, would you like to play? And then
sure.
Tony.
Yeah, I see Allie from Charlottesville with her Nike hat on, and I imagine that she's athletic.
All right, thank you. Yeah, that's it right there. And Tony, are you wanting to play?
Yeah, I see James' background, and I think he's a painter, and he looks interesting to me.
All right. You imagine he's a painter, and you notice that he's interesting. Yeah, so that's also an evaluation. Thank you. This group is super smart. See, that's another evaluation. And I haven't had a chance to do a little coaching because we're doing all like correctly. So let's see, let's do a little edgy thing. Like, so, and I'm gonna take it out of the room. So I see that my time card on the last 4 time cards had 60 hours or more on them. And I imagine that I'm getting a promotion out of it. So that's sort of an observation. I could observe that I'm putting in what I would call extra time, right? 60 hours a week at least. And I have a story that I'm going to get a promotion out of it. So that's, you know, bringing it more into the real world here. So I'd love to hear 1 or 2 more of these that might be applied to your life, like to make an observation and then follow it with some story that you have about what you're seeing. Kind of like my time card and the story that I'm going to get promoted. Go ahead, Maggie, and then Lindsay.
My son texted, let's meet at 7:15 instead of 6 p.m. for Mother's Day. And my story was that he doesn't give a crap about me.
Thank you, Maggie.
He keeps putting
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, thank you. And so Maggie quoted the text, and then she shared the story that she made up about it. Thanks, Maggie. Lindsay, go ahead. Do you want to play?
Sure. Let's see, I called my aunt and she declined the call and then texted me back. And I imagined, or I made up the story that she finds me difficult to converse with.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. You called your aunt, she declined and texted you after, and then you made up the story that she finds you difficult. Wow. Thanks, Lindsay. Yeah, this group is so enlightened. I haven't had to do much coaching yet. Laura, would you like to play? Thank you, Lindsay. Go ahead, Laura. You have to unmute yourself. I can't hear you.
Oh, I thought there was more than one Laura. I wasn't sure if it was me.
Oh,
Okay.
Laura Rolling. She had her hand up.
Yes, and if you can differentiate the other Laura from me, my name is Laura. If you can,
Laura.
yes, or Lau, yeah. So I have one typical. I hug my husband every morning. We have been having a really awful relationship for 20 years, but I hug him every morning, and usually he does too. This morning he didn't hug me, so I'm assuming that he's really upset.
Thank you. Would you be open to a little bit of coaching?
Yes.
Yeah. So in the first part, when you use the word every morning, that phrase every morning implies that from, you know, minus infinity to plus infinity of time, that you're always going to be hugging this person. And so whenever you use that word every, like always, and you know, that's not possible. So it's really, it's not observational. So so if you could rephrase your observation in terms of something that's like clearly observable, that, you know, like yesterday I hugged my husband, and this morning I hugged my husband, and another observation might be after I hugged him, or he didn't hug me back or something. So that would be more observational. Do you want to give it a shot?
Yes. This morning I was sitting in the kitchen, having a cup of tea. My husband comes in the kitchen and I noticed that he didn't hug me.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. And then what was the story that you made up about what happened or didn't happen?
Of course, so how well,
Yeah, so your story, I mean, you said it already. Your story is that he must be really mad.
yes.
Yeah, so that's your story.
I know he is, but
Well, unless he tells you, you don't know. But your story is that he is really mad.
yes.
Thank you, Loda. So that's
So
the game.
So I leave it like that. And
Well,
that is what
That's
say.
the game. That's the game that we're playing. That's
Oh,
as far
okay.
as we're going to take it right now.
Okay, okay.
All right. I see a couple hands up.
Could I ask a question on that?
Yeah, go ahead, Laura.
You said, if you say always, that's not an observation. I was curious, what if it was like most days? Would that be an evaluation also?
That's the evaluation, because your most days and my most days is very different. Yeah.
And
so
what about like usually would be an evaluation?
usually is also evaluation, because your usually and my usually are very different. I can guarantee that.
Okay, so what if you said like before work? Like before work, I hugged my husband.
I don't know what your work is.
Well, I mean, before he goes to work, I hug my husband. Would that be an evaluation? I'm just trying to sort out which is evaluation and which is observation.
So that isn't specific to a period of time. So it's kind of floating in the air. But if you were to say, yesterday, I hugged my husband before going to work, that's observable.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
So one more question and then we'll move on. Monica, I see that your hand is up.
Well,
Do you have a question?
Yes, my husband left last night for an archery competitions, and he's been leaving a lot. So I feel that his archery is more important every time. Like he left last night, I felt really alone. And he loves his competition more than I do. And he's been doing this a lot.
Thank you, Monica. Yes, so the observation is that your husband left for a competition, and your evaluation is that
he's leaving me and he doesn't love me.
And that he doesn't love you. Thank you. And Monica, I'm wondering, would you like to receive some support from someone in our group, or are you going to stay with the workshop?
What do you mean getting support?
Yeah. So I'd like to just like step in to acknowledge your experience and hearing that you've got some sadness coming up. And is that around your need for maybe support and love?
I think so.
Yeah. So you're noticing that your need for love isn't being met. Is there anything else that you are wanting to share right now? And if you would like some support, I'm offering that you could spend a little time talking to Letitia. Okay. Would you enjoy that?
Yes.
Yeah, Letitia, are you willing to spend a little time with Monica?
Sure.
let me see about creating something here. Participants. All right, so I'm just going to create a room here. Why isn't this working?
I know, I'm waiting for somebody to acknowledge me.
Yeah.
Letitia can also put herself in a breakout room with Monica if she's a host.
Yeah, I think I could do that. Should I try that?
Yeah, go ahead and do that. All right, thank you.
Okay.
So, Clell, I see that your hand is up.
Yeah, I guess I think playing this game, but also to just say something, is that I noticed that you offered Letitia's time before you asked her. And I guess that I am imagining that might be a pressure situation for somebody might feel pressured if they're to say yes in that circumstance. And I guess I'm trying to sort of connect to a sense of fairness, and I'm also wanting to connect to my own expressing something when I am seeing
so
something
hearing
like
that you're wanting to understand, is that around understanding, or are you trying to contribute to Letitia's well-being?
Well, I definitely would like to contribute to Letitia's well-being, I guess.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks
for expressing that. So Letitia and I have an agreement that
I was going to ask about
before we went in here. So Letitia is here to support. Yeah. So thank you. So I'd like to bring us back into the agenda, that the section that we're covering right now. So thanks, Clell. So you observed, so the observation was that I asked Letitia to do something, and maybe your story was that she didn't have choice around it.
Well, I think that's a complicated thing. I felt like maybe my imagining was that maybe she felt very pressured.
Yeah. Thanks for owning your imagination. Thank you. So that's the observation and evaluation part. Thanks, Clell. All right. So I'm hoping that this part is clear. So let's go ahead and move on to the next part of the workshop.